Welcome to Multifamily Live.
I'm Keely Yarusi.
And I'm Jason Yarusi. Our mission is to help you unlock your full potential as a multifamily real estate investor.
So you can do more deals, bigger deals, with less stress, keep more profit, and free up your time.
Multifamily doesn't have to be a mystery. It's time to go live.
Aloha, everyone, and welcome back. I am super excited to introduce you to my next guest. This is a person that is near and dear to my heart because I listen to him almost every single morning on Clubhouse. He is one of the hosts of Business Over Breakfast. I have the amazing Byron Holman. Welcome to the show, Byron.
Yes, indeed. Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Super excited to talk. Yes, indeed.
Super excited to have you on, Byron. So Byron Holman is a successful real estate entrepreneur who has built a thriving business in the real estate industry. Through proven strategies, Byron has trailblazed his way to being recognized as an industry leader and has always been a resource to his social media followers by sharing his strategies and real estate knowledge. He is focused mostly on wholesaling and creative financing, but he also does new construction, fix and flip, and rentals. Byron, boom. And the thing is, your bio is spot on because all you do every morning, Monday through Friday, is lay down the information and gems that people need to take their next step forward. But talking about taking the next step forward, let's take a step back first. How did you get started and why real estate?
Wow. That's a great question. So real estate was never really on my radar, to be honest with you, Peely. I was more so just, I was thinking I wanted to get like a franchise, like some Subways or something like that. And I, after doing a little bit more investigation, right, we go through this investigation phase. And I was, at that time, I was a nurse. I was working as a travel nurse. And all I knew is I was making really good money, right? I was living in the projects. I wasn't spending a lot of money. And I was probably living on maybe about 30% of my income at this time. So I was literally saving everything that I had. And I was driving back and forth to Beaumont. And I never forget, many days, like I'd just be thinking, listening to different books, and I'd be driving on these long highways all the way from Beaumont coming into Katy, Texas, and working. And I would be at that time, I was listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover. I was listening to a lot of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was my, I would say, introduction, so to speak, into real estate. But, I didn't really pay attention at that time. I was just kind of like, I'm just working, saving, work, save. And eventually, after I did a little research on the way that the franchises work and how much profit is really there at the end of the day, it kind of just turned me off to some of those things. And that's when I started looking other places. And real estate ended up being one.
That is amazing. There's so much I could unpack there. Just what you said with the save, work. So many people are in that position, and you took the time, literally took your time, listened to books, started really ingraining financial strategy. And it sounds like to me, you already had a great financial background, even though that wasn't what you were going into. As a nurse, like some people get that check and they're just like, kaboom, I'm just going to spend it all. You were only using 30% and you were living beneath your means. So for my listeners, that's one key gem that he just dropped. Try to live beneath your means before you take that step up. So thank you for that, Byron. So let's move forward. You're in real estate. How did you get started in the aspect of real estate that you chose? And like walk us through kind of like your first deal and really getting into it.
Absolutely. I definitely want to get to that. I really want to kind of preface with the backstory on my desire to start saving. Peely, I come from a family where my mom, she was really good with budgeting money, right? She was really good. She had good credit, always kept good credit. Always paid all of her bills on time, whether she was, robbing Peter to pay Paul, she always figured it out. But at the same time, she never saved, right? And if she ever did, it was very, very limited. And it was, little to none, right? And my dad, he was cool with it. He just worked and let her take care of all of the business. So, and we were generally poor, right? And so it was just one of those things where I made that a conscious effort. I knew for a fact that I never, ever, ever wanted to live the way that my parents did. And that is what was one of the, I guess, the driving forces or the catalyst that helped me, move more so in that direction. And I started saving. And so as I started to save and build up my account, I was just actively looking at that point. I think I'd saved well into the six figures. And I was just actively looking for something to pour this money into, because I knew for a fact that no matter how much I saved, I was still living in the projects. Like, that's no fun. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I was driving like I was driving a used car at that time. And I think I'd finally upgraded. I think I got me like I don't know, maybe like 100 or something like that. And so I was,
and I
it was
interrupt you real quick,
sure,
Byron, because
sure.
I want to pinpoint exactly what you just said. It was key. You saved well into the six figures.
Yes.
And number one, you were still living in the projects.
Yes.
You were still driving a used vehicle.
Yes.
And you were still living beneath your means. So
yes.
you were looking forward. I just wanted to pin that out for my listeners right now, because you were looking forward. You had the goal in mind, but you knew you couldn't just like drop it all and start like looking at those zeros and like getting that fake credibility. Let's put it that way. So anybody that would look at you, they would think, oh, here's a regular guy working, but you actually had six figures in the bank account.
Yes.
You knew that you were going to do something with that. So go on, Byron.
Absolutely. And so, I'm just like, looking for something to invest my money into. So I started looking into real estate, right? And started reading more on real estate. And I got on YouTube University. That was my first course or university that I joined. And then I started learning about all these different strategies. And so my initial plan was to just buy some rentals, right? Continue working and just kind of build up that way. And then I started looking at some of the properties out there and how hard it was to find a deal. And so I told myself, man, even if I was to save up and buy a rental every single year, a couple rentals every single year, it has to be an easier way to scale up to more properties in a faster way. And as I realized that, I just, that kind of turned me off. So I was like, dang, man, what can I do to scale up whatever I'm trying to do? And I need to do this quickly. So because living in the projects, living, beneath my means, and doing what I'm doing, that's not going to work either, because I'm going to either burn out and get to the point to where I'm just going to do something crazy with a bunch of money to make myself happy, or or I'm just, it's just not going to work, living the way I was living. I was too extreme. But anyway, I started learning about different avenues, and I come across wholesaling, right? And a buddy of mine, he hit me up and he was saying, man, you need to come and check out this program that I'm with. And it was called the Big Dogs here in Houston. And I was like, I don't know about that. It sounds real seminarish, sounds real scamish. I'm gonna hold off on that, right? And the reason I was holding off is because there was another one that I was planning on going to, and it was a Fortune Builders event. I didn't know it was a Fortune Builders event. It was just one of those, come and make millions in real estate. You know what I mean?
It's got money.
Yeah. So I showed up to this event, and come to find out it was a Fortune Builders event. And I got all excited, and I was with my lady, and and I asked her, I was like, dang, so what do you think? What you think about this? It was like 30 grand. I had the money, but it was still 30 grand. And so I was like, I don't know. I love the concept. It made sense. They were talking about flipping and rehabbing properties. That had me excited because what I liked about it mostly, Peely, was the fact that it didn't have that limit. And it was predicated on the amount of effort that I was willing to put in was going to dictate the amount of money that I made, not like some of those chain stores and those franchises where, you're pretty much capped at whatever that market area is going to allow you to make, right? And it's a set, general profit margin. You're profiting maybe around, 10, 15%. And that's about it. That's just how those chains are kind of set up. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and check out this Fortune Builders. And I did. We went, and then I ended up joining Fortune Builders, and I dropped that 30 grand. And I wasn't, if I'm being honest, I wasn't excited about that experience as much, because what I realized is that these coaches and these people are from all over the place, right? I like the concept of it, but I didn't like the fact that I didn't have anybody that I can reach out to locally and really, really help me dive deep on some of these issues. So I asked, hey, I need a refund within my refund period. And I was back at square one again. And my buddy, I remember he kept telling me about this program locally. And I was like, I know that I want to be around some people that I feel like I can connect with. I know that I want to do real estate. So let me try this out. Come to find out, that was 20 grand to join that particular group. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try it. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to go to the little seminar thing. I'm pretty sure I already know what they're going to be talking about. Look, here's my 20 grand. I want to join the club. And I joined the club, and it was within months I was already doing real estate, and I had gotten like a couple deals under my belt. So I do. And looking back at that, Peely, I realized that a lot of people, even when they dive into real estate investing, a lot of times it takes some months before they even do their first deal. Sometimes 6 months to sometimes a year before they do their first deal. And I had done mine within like a couple months. I was already off to the races. And a lot of that 100%, I would have to say, was attributed to the fact that I got mentorship and I was very aggressive. I made friendships immediately. Just as fast as I make them on Clubhouse, that's about as fast as I made them in that little mentorship group. And it was almost kind of like a fraternity, right? And that's what that was.
You're going to love what I'm writing furiously because you're giving me so many ideas. So you took on that mentorship. You made those connections and got that friendship with the big dogs. And that allowed you to rise your ship. You took the mentorship, the friendship, and you rose your ship. And the thing is, and I've asked this before, and you've attributed a lot of your success to the fact that you got mentorship, but it sounds like to me that you were ready. You were ready to take that step. So how can others, especially those that are listening right now, how can others know when they are ready to take that step that you took, that massive action?
So for me, I would say that I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired at that point. And I think when you get to that space to where it's like failure is not an option, and you get away from the people pleasing, right? When you are sure with who you are and who you're going to become and who you want to be. And that has nothing to do with impressing others. I think when you get to that space, and I'll be honest with you, Peely, that space didn't come to me easy, right? I got myself caught up in a bad situation where I went to jail. I was looking at 15 years to life for a drug case. And, in that moment, it humbled my spirit, right? Prior to that, I was fancy as anybody else would want to be. I had a nice Mercedes Benz. I was young, and I had all kind of nice clothes. I made money. I did fairly well for myself, even prior to the nursing degree. And, but when I experienced that jail time, it was almost like shock therapy. It shook me into a new person. And the reason why is because I realized, Pilly, that a lot of the things that we hold in this super high regard just don't matter. They just don't matter. And when you're looking at those four walls, and a lot of those friendships start to dry up, right? A lot of the people that you were dying to impress, they're no longer impressed. They don't want to hear from you. They can care less about what you have going on at this present moment because you are no longer useful to them. When I realized this sobering reality, it took me to a space to where I said, why am I trying to impress these people? Why do I care about what people think about me? Why am I investing so much of my time trying to please folk who can care less and can give a damn about even if I was living some of these people? And that perspective change was what gave me the fuel, not only for success, but it gave me that discipline to realize that, hey, at the end of the day, I need to focus on what is going to make me happy and what is going to make me elevate to that next level. And so to answer that question directly, I would say when you can get to a space to where you are no longer driven by other people's opinions about you, you're no longer driven by trying to impress or please everyone who has an opinion about what you do or don't do. When you're no longer driven by trying to, look a certain way to impress other folk, I believe that you can achieve anything. I think that was the catalyst to the major parts of anything that I've done to ever become successful.
You know what? You can just keep on talking. I'm going to take myself out of this podcast because I just want to listen to everything that you're dropping. Byron, that was awesome. Like, really, listeners, what is driving you? Is the social credibility driving you? Is what other people think about you? Is that driving you? Because those are nothing, that's not foundational. You have to find that foundation within yourself, within God, within your spirituality. You have to find that within. So thank you for dropping that. And let's take this a level up. So you are in real estate. You are successful. Byron, how are you giving back?
Oh, I love to give back. This is great. I give back through Clubhouse. We do have a show called Business Over Breakfast. That's Monday through Friday for the most part, which is challenging to say the least. Every single day, 6 a.m. We started it, as kind of like a mastermind between a couple of buddies of mine. And we just invited everybody else to join in to what we like to talk about, and it was also a accountability piece, really. We wanted to hold ourselves accountable by waking up early, starting our day in a productive fashion and building building relationship, building in business, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, and just kind of like networking, masterminding with each other every single day before we kick off our business day. And that's what Business Over Breakfast is. And that's what it's, we've kind of remained true to that core vision. And, that's how I've been giving back a lot. I also do YouTube and Instagram as well. But Clubhouse is where I've been really, really thriving. But I'm definitely going to be turning up on YouTube for sure.
You need to. But the thing is, to my listeners, if you aren't following Byron Holman in Clubhouse, if you're not in Clubhouse, I want you to DM Byron right now. We'll give you an invite. But you need to do this. You all know from listening to me, I'm really, really selective with what I put into my brain every single morning. And no joke, I check Byron out at least 2 to 3 times a week. It is full and chock full of so much information just between the mastermind, between the gentlemen that he has on stage and the people that he brings up. It's so much amazing information. It's amazing networking. So look for Business Over Breakfast over at Clubhouse. So let's take us an even next step forward. tell my listeners what's happening in Houston this weekend. Another huge give back.
Yes. We're doing a Business Over Breakfast live event. And you know what? Let me pull up my phone real quick. I gotta share exactly what we got going on. So listen, this is the thing. I got with a bunch of our friends, right? And what they're gonna be doing is they're gonna be sharing blueprints, right? Blueprints, 6 to 7 figure blueprints. Every single speaker that we have is verified. I mean, a lot of these people are 7, 8, and some of them even 9-figure in terms of wealth. So I mean, this is not no shabby folk that we got gracing the stage. But what we're going to be talking about is all different types of blueprints. From let me break it down. We're talking about residential and multifamily investments. We're talking about buying back the block. I got Chris Senegal. He's going to be in the building talking about buying back the block. And how he uses crowdfunding and private money resources in order to scale up in real estate. We're talking about wealth building secrets. We got tax strategists coming in to show you how to, limit your tax liabilities, right? Because this is an art and a skill. Limiting your tax liabilities and increasing the amount of money that you actually put in your pocket. That's important. If you just came for that specific reason alone, you've done yourself a huge favor. We're talking about wholesaling, which is my space, wholesaling and creative finance, and understanding the advantages and the disadvantages of doing both at the same time, right? We're going to be talking about all of that. Airbnb, Turo. We're talking about foreclosures, short sales, mobile home investments, trucking. We're talking about owning a brokerage, and also how to get private money lending, traditional lending, and different things of that nature, plus much, much more. I've left a couple folk out that we ain't even get to, but yeah. And it's going to be a networking event and a day party after that. So it's going to be phenomenal to be able to just shake hands, because at the end of the day, Peely, your net worth will at some point reflect in your net worth. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the reason why that is because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. Like, so we'll find ourselves doing things. And this is I've run into this issue as well, because sometimes I can be, a bit of a recluse, and so to speak, as much as I probably appear to be someone who, is out and about. In my real life, I'm more of a recluse. I can kind of get in my own little world and my own little bubble, and I'll nerd out on the things that I nerd out on. And in my world, I'm a genius and I got it all figured out, right? Because I've done this and I've done that. But in reality, what I've realized, Peely, is that anytime I'm networking, anytime I'm reading, anytime I'm watching YouTube, I realize how dumb I actually am and how much is still more to grow, still more to learn. And that's the reason why I've been very intentional, even though at my core, I'm probably that person that's just going to sit in the room. I'll probably look at a little YouTube, read a little book, or nerd out on whatever I just get my interest into, and that'll be it. But I have to force myself to get out, meet people, shake hands, get out, talk to people on social media, make relationship, build relationship, and do that, because a lot of times I find out that it's so much more that I just don't know. And it'd be the smallest things sometimes that can make the most major impact in your business or whatever you're trying to get done. So I'm intentional about networking, and that's why we're having this event. And that's why I'm even here on this podcast. You know what I mean? Because I want to make relationship with as many people as I respect and appreciate as possible. So
thank you. And thank you again so much for coming on our podcast, because these relationships that we make are key, because like you said, I'm going to dig into just what you said. You don't know what you don't know. And you don't know when you're going to hear that one thing, that one small thing, wherever you go, that's going to make your business that much better. That's going to make you that much better. It could be the smallest thing, but you would not have heard it, folks, if you do not go to this conference, if you do not reach out, I know that right now we are in the time of COVID. There's a lot of people who are afraid of doing things like this. This is me telling you that at some point we're going to have to put aside the fear, put aside this ingrained fear that we've all gotten now, especially us introverts that want to just be on our computer and listen to a podcast, read a book, and I can figure it on YouTube. There's something about this connection, like being in front of people, that makes it stick just that much more. So
Absolutely.
Before I let you go, Byron, how can people best find you?
I would say definitely check me out on YouTube. I have a couple different YouTube avenues. I need to clean it up though. I'm working on that, Feely. I would say definitely check out. We have a podcast called Real Shit Real Estate Podcast. Is REALSHYT.
Yes. I was almost going to say that. It's with the Y.
With the Y. Yeah, with a Y. And so definitely check that out as well. I have a YouTube channel, Byron Holman. Just type in my name and it'll pop up. My personal YouTube page where I just talk about different strategies on, I got one, talk about making money in real estate, how to do, I put out 6-figure a month blueprints, right? On what that looks like to run a business in the real estate space where you're making 6 figures a month. Consistently. I talk about all different kind of things. And then also check out my Instagram. I do a gratitude Sunday every single Sunday where I, just talk about being, grateful about what you're grateful for, and taking time to open up in that space. And as well as on Clubhouse. I mean, I'm all over the place. Golly, you just made me really, really realize how much content I'm putting out into the world.
How much you do. And I swear the world is a better place for it. So you heard it from Byron. Go check him out on Clubhouse. Go check him out on YouTube. Find someplace where you can get more information, especially if you're trying to figure out where to go to next. Byron has a great way to do that stepping stone, to get in and to take that action. And that is usually my last question. So what is one last action step that you can give to my listeners right now? Something that they can turn off their phone, put it to the side and do right now.
I would say 100%. What you want to do is you want to get clarity of focus. I think this is important. We do not, spend enough time getting that clarity of focus, because when you have clarity of focus, I believe you can conquer anything. So I would say the very first action step is to find out exactly where you want to put your energy, where you want to harness the bulk of your energy and go full force into that. And that's gonna also take a little bit of reading and education. That's gonna also take a little bit of going out and just taking those risks, right? Don't be afraid to take those risks, because every single risk is, you can't avoid it. If you want a reward, you can't avoid taking those risks in business. But I would say clarity of focus, and give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to fail right now as we speak, because you're going to fail. And it's a matter of how you perceive that failure is what's going to make all the difference, because either way it goes, it's a win. You're either going to learn or you're going to get a bigger bank account. So either way it goes, it's a win. So give yourself that permission to fail right now, and just go out and conquer the world. That's my mantra.
No matter what action step you take, as long as it's action, you're gonna win.
Absolutely.
You're gonna learn, or you're gonna take that next step. So
exactly.
Byron, thank you so very much for being on my podcast. And for everyone else that's listening, I am grateful to you. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. Find Byron and give him a like, give him a follow. And aloha, everyone.
All right. Peace.
Want to learn exactly how we're finding high profit, cash flow ready multifamily properties off market? Want to find out how to run lightning fast syndications to raise all the capital you need for your next multi-million-dollar deal in just a few days?
We're breaking down our entire process step by step at a 3-day event happening June 10th through the 12th called, you guessed it, Multifamily Live.
We've done events before, but nothing this massive or this valuable. And for the first time ever, we're going to open the doors and walk you guys through literally every step of what we're doing on our multifamily deals.
This is a virtual event, so you don't have to travel or even leave your couch, but spots are limited. Sign up at multifamilyliveevent.com and we'll see you there.